Catherine the Great, the formidable Empress of Russia from 1762 until 1796, was not only a powerful and influential ruler, but also an effeminate collector of jewelry. Her opulent reign left an indelible mark on Russian history, and her passion for the arts extended to the worlds of jewelry and furniture. Recently, two television series, The Great and Catherine the Great, from 2021 and 2019 respectively, have shed new light on this Russian empress. With this video, we will dive into part of Catherine the Great's jewelry collection. Catherine the Great showcased her love for jewelry through the opulent pieces gracing her court. Renowned for her diplomatic acumen and strategic alliances, not least through her friendship with French author Voltaire, Catherine recognized the symbolic significance of jewelry as a means to convey wealth, status, triumph, and authority. Her extensive jewelry collection went beyond mere extravagance, serving as a tool for political maneuvers and diplomatic finesse when her portraits were both painted and on display. Her vibrant personality radiated through her array of jewels, showcasing her discerning taste, with court painters picking up on her position early, painting her brighter at the forefront and more lively than her husband, Peter III, whom she would eventually overthrow. The adornment of jewelry was not just a display of wealth, but a deliberate expression of power and class, enhancing her influential position as a leader of Europe. Whether in ballroom events or meetings with military generals, Catherine used jewelry, arranging loose stones or pearls in her hair to create a commanding aura without a tiara, wearing military brooches, and never being far from the Russian imperial jewels to emphasize her position at the Russian court. In her accession to power and her rule of the empire, Catherine often relied on her noble favorites, such as Count Grigory Orlov and Grigory Potemkin. Assisted by highly successful generals such as Alexander Suvorov and Pyotr Rumyantsev, and admirals such as Samuel Grieg and Fyodor Ushakov, she governed at a time when the Russian Empire expanded rapidly by both conquest and diplomacy. In the south, the Crimean Khanate was annexed following victories over the Bar Confederation and the Ottoman Empire in the first of many Russo-Turkish wars. In anticipation of future conflicts with the Ottoman Empire, Russia colonized the territories of New Russia along the coasts of the Black and Azov Seas. In the west, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, ruled by Catherine's former lover, King Stanislaw August Poniatowski, was eventually partitioned, with the Russian Empire gaining the largest share. In the east, Russian settlers began to colonize Alaska, establishing the colony of Russian America. Many cities and towns founded on Catherine's orders in the newly conquered lands include Kherson, Nikolaev, and Sevastopol. An admirer of Peter the Great, Catherine continued to modernize Russia along Western European lines. However, military conscription and the economy continued to depend on a large peasant class, and the increasing demands of the state and of private landowners intensified the exploitation of serf labor. This was one of the chief reasons behind rebellions, including Pugachev's rebellion of the Cossacks. The Manifesto on the Freedom of the Nobility, issued during the short reign of Peter II and confirmed by Catherine, freed Russian nobles from compulsory military or state service. She encouraged her nobility to turn towards education and art instead. The construction of many mansions of the nobility in the classical style endorsed by the Empress changed the face of the empire and would provide living quarters for the Romanovs, who you can learn about on this channel. Catherine the Great is often included in the ranks of the so-called enlightened despots. As a patron of the arts, she presided over the age of Russian enlightenment, including the establishment of the Smolny Institute of Noble Maidens, the first state-sponsored higher education institution for women in Europe, which hosted its last graduating class in 1917. Throughout her reign from 1762 to 1796, her choice of wide skirts and elaborate jewels became symbols of wealth and power among the aristocracy. She was born in 1729 and died in 1796. and she was Catherine II. Catherine I ruled for 2 years from 1725 until 1727. Catherine I's dramatic demise would have likely affected Catherine II, who enjoyed a much longer reign than her predecessor. At the heart of Catherine the Great's jewelry collection was the Imperial crown jewels, a breathtaking ensemble that symbolizes the might and grandeur of the Russian Empire. The crown itself is a masterpiece, adorned with thousands of diamonds, pearls, and other precious gemstones. It featured a dazzling array of colors, white and red, among them reflecting the wealth and beauty of the Russian nation. It is currently held in Russia's Diamond Fund, and any removal of it from the Russian nation is strictly illegal. Another iconic piece in the Imperial crown jewels is the Orlov Diamond. This gem, weighing over 189 carats, was set atop the Imperial scepter. Gifted to Catherine by her lover, Count Grigory Orlov, the diamond held both sentimental and political significance. It was a symbol of the Empress's power and the loyalty she commanded over other men. The Great Mogul Diamond, it wasn't simply hyperbole in its name. It was thought to be the largest natural diamond ever found in India, weighing 787 carats at first. The stone was mined in Golconda in 1650, and because of its enormous size, a lesser nobleman looking to form an alliance with the powerful subcontinental ruler gave it to the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. Though the rock's size was remarkable, it had several imperfections. The emperor had the Venetian jeweler Hortensio Borgias cut and polish the rough stone in order to remove the tiny imperfections. This would be a choice that Shah Jahan would regret. Borgias worked the magnificent diamond, removing each inclusion he could until the size of the stone was greatly reduced. Shah Jahan was so unhappy with the decision that he decided to fine the Venetian jeweler of all he had, reducing him to destitution. The Orlov diamond emerged just as this great Mughal diamond vanished. Surprisingly identical in cut and form, the Orlov was considerably smaller at less than 200 carats. Since so little was known about its beginnings, myths started to circulate. One of the more well-known tales claims that this diamond was originally a pair that made up the eyes of a statue in a temple in Mysore. It was discovered by a French soldier who had deserted his army during the Carnatic Wars in the 18th century. During a violent evening in a thunderstorm, he succeeded in removing the stone off the statue. Before he could obtain the second gem from the eye, his nerves broke, and he fled to Madras while holding on to the lone diamond and jumping the temple wall. There, for £2,000, he sold it to a British sailing captain. According to mythology, the rock then sent out on a global journey until arriving at St. Petersburg and the Imperial Russian court. The Orlov's more credible Genesis story is also remarkable. Most modern scholars are now convinced that the Great Mogul Diamond is actually the Orlov Diamond. In the 18th century, the course of the Orlov Diamond's history took a dramatic turn when it fell into the hands of the Persian ruler Nadir Shah. Supposedly, Nadir Shah, after a successful campaign, was holding court and acquired the diamond along with other treasures after negotiating with India. The Orlov diamond became a prized possession in the royal treasury of Persia. Then, Russian nobleman and diplomat Count Grigory Orlov entered the scene. Seeking favor with the Empress Catherine the Great, he presented her with the dazzling Orlov diamond in 1762 after negotiating it out of the Persian court. Catherine also commissioned the creation of the Orlov diamond's first setting, designed by court jeweler C.F. Eckhart. One of the few jewels the Bolsheviks didn't sell on, it remained in the Kremlin during the Communist Revolution. The Great Imperial Crown, another highlight of the collection, was crafted in 1762 for Catherine's coronation. Adorned with over 5,000 white diamonds, bordered with 37 pearls resting on a circlet of an additional 19 diamonds, each weighing over 5 carats, this crown exemplified the craftsmanship of the era and the wealth of the Russian Empire. The Balas ruby at the top came from Tajikistan and is one of the largest in recorded literature. The design of the imperial crown is a fusion of various artistic elements reflecting the diverse influences present in the Russian Empire. The crown itself is made of red velvet lined solid silver and is covered with large, beautiful Indian diamonds. The band is studded with pearls and adorned with intricate patterns, while the arches support a cross at their apex, symbolizing the connection between the earthly and divine authority of the Russian monarch. The crown's last public appearance on a monarch occurred in 1906 with Nicholas II's opening of the Duma, and you can learn more about Nicholas II's wife and mother in their videos on this channel. Rectangular in shape and originally weighing 107 carats, the emerald necklace was a part of Catherine's priceless emerald collections, emeralds being domestically produced in Russia. The stone was handed down through the centuries after her death, and in 1874 Tsar Alexander II gave it to Duchess Marie of Mecklenburg-Schwerin upon her union with his son, Grand Duke Vladimir. Like Catherine, the Duchess was a well-known jewelry collector. She was the final Romanov to depart Russia, and her jewelry was quickly smuggled out of the country. In the 1920s, her children sold Cartier the emerald, which is also a brooch. After being recut and remounted, the stone was owned by gem dealer Raphael S. Marion and John D. Rockefeller Jr. before being sold by Christie's in 2019 for £3.37 million to an individual collector. The bow necklace is made up of a row of 27 graded cushion-cut diamonds set in a silver band. It features a border of smaller stones and a clasp with diamonds set in the shape of a ribbon. It is thought that Catherine deliberately ordered it sometime between 1760 and 1780, but it failed to sell at auction by Sotheby's. According to the auction house, the necklace consists of two separate jewels, a diamond necklace and clasp in the shape of a bow, which can be worn together or separately. Catherine the Great's spinel and diamond brooch comprises silver, diamonds, and spinel. This brooch is a revered part of the Russian crown jewels and includes a matching earring set. Its opulent design reflects the grandeur of the era, symbolizing the regal sophistication of the Enlightenment and Catherine's love of ribbons and bows. It has sometimes been referred to as a hair ornament. A historic pair of 18th century amethyst and diamond ear pendants distinguished by the girandole design is next. Each pendant features 3 pear-shaped amethyst drops suspended from a diamond foliate motif, culminating in an octagon amethyst and diamond cluster surmount. Crafted in silver and gold circa 1760, these ear pendants measuring over 2 inches long are revered as a part of the Imperial Russian jewels and made it into the 1925 auction catalog of the Romanov jewelry. Housed in a fitted red leather case, the earrings encapsulate the elegance and opulence of a bygone era, while also featuring the rose cut so popular with Catherine the Great. While not traditional jewelry, the Amber Room in the Catherine Palace deserves mention for its sheer magnificence. Constructed in the 18th century, the Amber Room was a chamber adorned entirely with amber panels, gold leaf, and mirrors. Though not wearable, the Amber Room was a testament to Catherine's commitment to creating opulent spaces that reflected her refined taste. The fate of the Amber Room is shrouded in mystery, as it was dismantled and disappeared during World War II by the Zionist Bolsheviks. Before its loss, it was considered an eighth wonder of the world. A reconstruction was made starting in 1979 and completed and installed in the Catherine Palace in 2003, and in 2021 there were murmurs from scholars that the Amber Room had been rediscovered. In addition to the grandeur of the imperial crown jewels, Catherine the Great also possessed an impressive collection of personal jewelry. Her private collection included an assortment of necklaces, brooches, and rings, each bearing its own unique story. One notable piece was the diamond diadem, a delicate and elegant headpiece adorned with diamonds and pearls. Catherine often wore this diadem during formal occasions, and it was auctioned off by Sotheby's in 2016. Another lot in this sale with a connection to Russia's Tsars was an antique-colored diamond necklace, brooch, and pair of earrings. This set was commissioned by Sultan Ahmad III of the Ottoman Empire and given to the wife of the Viceroy of Egypt to celebrate the birth of her son. It is thought that the colored diamonds in the set were originally given to the Sultan by Empress Catherine I of Russia in order to negotiate the end of the Siege of Pruth in 1711. The Diamond and Ruby Watch. A well-known collector of pre-revolutionary Russian art was Marjorie Merriweather Post. Aged 27, she became the wealthiest woman in American history, having inherited the equivalent of approximately 400 million pounds upon the death of her father in 1914. He was the founder of the General Food Corporation. Many of her treasures can be seen at her Hillwood Estate Museum in Washington, D.C., including this ruby and diamond watch belonging to Catherine the Great. Hanging from a diamond-encrusted star, sunburst, and key is a pave case with a ruby cipher for Catherine II, surmounted with the imperial crown. Which piece is your favorite?